Hey guys, it's Thad Peterson from Seynaeve.US, and I've just finished processing and shipping out the first full production batch of PSA jackets and suits. And I have to say, I'm even more impressed with them than I was before. There are two really important design elements of these jackets that I didn't cover very well in the prior video I did on the PSA jackets. And I just want to take a couple minutes to kind of flesh those out and give them a better description than I did before. Number one, that's extremely important, is the preformed shape of the elbow. And that is extremely important because of the bite plates that are incorporated into the upper arm that are what's so special about these sleeves. These sleeves are not normal Bitesuit sleeves that just happen to be separated from the vest part of the jacket. These Belgian ring style bite plates in the upper arm are what make this jacket so special for developing and testing those monster grips that allow you to show off with your dog to the fullest extent in PSA or KNPV. There is at least one of these jackets that's in a KNPV club right now, and they're loving it too. The other thing that's super important about these sleeves is the placement of this inner seam that runs down the length of the sleeve to close the sleeve. Back to the elbow for a second. Because of the fact that these bite plates are relatively stiff and quite firm, they don't bend very well. You wouldn't want them to extend all the way down the arm. Additionally, you do want them to extend as far down the bicep as they possibly can, because this is a relatively stressful biting position for a dog. That's why it's preferred for sports like PSA and KNPV, because it's a kind of a personal biting location. It's in close to the center of mass. It's in close to the decoy's face. It's a little bit more personal than biting the outside of a forearm. And so that's why it can be somewhat stressful for the dog. Also, it requires a little bit more athleticism from some of the dogs because it's up a little higher. So the dog potentially can start to bite lower and lower down the bicep, whether they are stressed or whether they are athletically taxed. So you want these bite plates to extend as far down the bicep as they possibly can without completely impeding the use of the left elbow. One thing that helps though with the use of the left elbow is to have a preformed shape in the elbow that gets the arm into almost as much bend as it would normally be for catching the dog in the preferred inner arm biting locations. Also, because it's preformed and partially bent, it doesn't take much to get it all the way bent to a 90 degree angle. And if you've got a dog on here, you can pretty much do anything you want with that positioning. Even though the bite plates extend as far down as we possibly can have them. If the dog starts to move down for the reasons that I previously mentioned, and they end up kind of below the bite plates here, it's relatively thinly padded, which isn't good for testing the dog or developing their grip, and it's not really great for the decoy because it's lightly padded, as I said. The other thing though that I mentioned briefly there is the location of the seam that runs down the length of the arm, and that seam is actually located almost all the way around to the very back of the arm. It's just inboard of where your elbow is so that it doesn't irritate your elbow when you bend your arm, and it doesn't impede flexion of your elbow at all. It's just inboard, about 1.5 inches, 2 inches inboard of your elbow. So what that means is if you have even a large mouthed dog with a long muzzle that's biting full, their lower canines are still 2.5 to 3 inches away from that seam. And that's great because on a conventional style sleeve, the dog's lower canine teeth can easily fall right into that seam, and they can stick them in there and kind of work on pulling that seam apart, which obviously isn't great for the suit. It's also not necessarily great for the dog's teeth, because even if you use a really strong thread to try and keep that seam closed, that just actually works against the dog's teeth as they're constantly pulling against those strong threads. It's not really good for anything. The best case scenario is to keep the seam away from the dog's lower canines, which the positioning of this seam really does. So those are two extremely important attributes of these sleeves that are not necessarily apparent on first glance. And just a quick note about the feedback about the green jacket that I had in the prior video that I've had circulating in the PSA community over here, and at least one jacket that Seynaeve has sent to Holland to be tried out in some KNPV clubs. The feedback is extremely positive. The decoys are loving the fact that their left bicep isn't being turned to hamburger anymore, so that's really nice. The other thing is, in addition to the shoulder mobility that this type of a suit construction or this type of a jacket construction provides, the other thing is these jackets seem to be very light on the body. They're not heavy on the body. So that's very nice. They actually are lightweight, but they wear in a way that they don't wear heavy. It's being very well received. Now, one thing that I have heard also is that for PSA, all of the bites are going on the left arm. The left bicep for frontal bites, the left tricep for runaway bites. So it's not necessary to have the same type of construction on the right arm for some people. For some people, they want it on both arms, but for other people, they want to have full range of maximum mobility in their right arm for stick work, for using obstacles against the dog, for moving around in a vehicle, things like that. So it's possible that as time goes on, we will start developing some of these jackets or start providing some of these jackets that might have an asymmetrical setup. So they might have this type of a sleeve on the left for catching the dogs and developing the grips and working them and testing them. And then on the right side, we might have almost like a competition sleeve, something along those lines. The other thing is, possibly, while this sleeve might be a bit too much for either young dogs that are just transitioning onto the jacket, or for other dogs that maybe haven't had a super beneficial foundation training, this sleeve might be a little bit much. So it's possible that we will work on developing another lower level sleeve that could be substituted in place of this one for bringing the dogs along and progressing them through their bite work when they're at a little bit of a lower level. So these are all things that we're working on. It's a phenomenal concept and a fantastic product. I welcome you to call me and discuss this if you're interested. 517-668-1224. And I look forward to your call. Have a nice day.